Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Mildred, who wants to play fetch, as usual. We've got a review to do, but I'm trying to put it off. So here, let me put her down. Thank you, honey. And here's her little fetchy toy, which we've discussed many, many times, at least as often as we've talked about music, it seems. You ready? Yes? Go! Oh, she's so happy. Anyway, I also have my juice box here. You ever had this stuff? Blackcurrant juice drink from Vita. It's really good. I love blackcurrant flavor, I have to say. And like I said, I'm digressing. And there's a reason. Because I have volume 2 of Adam Fischer doing Haydn's London Symphonies, which they call the late symphonies, which they are. And let's see, this particular volume 2 with the Danish Chamber Orchestra has symphonies numbers 96, 97, and 98. Well, at least they know how to count. That's a good thing. Now, the first pile of these things, containing numbers 93, 94, and 95, really sucked. I mean, they were horrible. This is a little bit less horrible for some reason, but it's still nothing special. Not at all. The problem, as I pointed out in a previous video and in the title of this one, is that Fischer has decided he is smarter than Haydn. Well, he's not. He's absolutely not. One of the great ironies of the period instrument movement and the foolishness attendant thereupon is that you find these conductors who are incredibly interventionist. I mean, just crazy. I mean, they change scoring. He likes to throw Colenio strings, with the back of the bow, clickety-clacking here and there, and they do things to the music. They mess with dynamics. They screw around with tempos all over the place. I mean, Leopold Stokowski would be embarrassed to do some of the things that Fischer does. But at the same time, they're claiming that their approach represents some kind of authenticity, some kind of historically informed practice. And that's just such hypocritical bullshit. It's total nonsense. It's nonsense in so many different ways, because the fact of the matter is that in Haydn's day, you didn't have conductors like these people. You didn't have orchestras that were rehearsed to within an inch of their collective lives. All of the circumstances of performance were completely different from what these people are doing and from what Fischer is doing. And the irony is that, Fischer recorded all the Haydn symphonies already. The weak spot in his Nimbus traversal of the complete Haydn symphonies really was the London symphonies, because those were the first ones that were recorded. And they were done in, Nimbus's ambisonic, I don't know what, echo chamber, bathroom at Grand Central Station, reverberation type sonics, which really destroyed the clarity and the impact of those performances. So he's doing them again. And these are just the opposite, but not better. Those were better performances. These are well, let's talk about why these are so horrible, shall we? The first movement of 96. Okay, the first movement of Symphony 96 ends with an absolutely thrilling, and I mean thrilling, plunge into the militant minor key, because there's this sort of fanfare. All of a sudden it becomes a military fanfare. There's a shocking key change, which all of a sudden the sky clears and it's all chuckles and cheer at the very end. It's a wonderful moment. So it's da 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 dum ba da da dum ba da da dum da da dum bum bum ba da dum bum bum ba da dum bum ba. It explodes. Well, he blows it. I mean, this man has no sense of timing. None. Zero. No sense of timing. Haydn had a fabulous sense of timing. You can only ruin it. And, well, he does. The minuets are very quick. The finales are really, really fast. I think too fast. Sometimes they just pass by in a blur. One of the examples also is the finale of number 97. Let's say, well, the first movement of 97, too. It's a very militant movement. Da 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 dum bum ba dum bum ba dum, by the timpani going da 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 da. Well, it's customary now to screw with the dynamics in those timpani parts. I mean, they're just marked forte or fortissimo sometimes. they make them crescendos and diminuendos and all this stuff that does nothing. It does nothing for the music. There's nothing more exciting than a sustained fortissimo. I mean, just play it the way the man wrote it, and it's going to be so much better than any stupid ideas you may impose on it. I mean, really. So, there's that. And the finale also has these repeated notes for horns and trumpets. And they're marked forte. Most performances, especially on normal instruments, modern instruments, change that forte to like piano because they can't believe that Haydn really wanted bum 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 da 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 dum da do 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 do, because if you do it forte, then you need to have lots of strings to balance them out. Well, yeah, that's the whole point. Haydn had lots of strings, and these Londoners, he had a 40, 50, 60 piece orchestra. He could make it work. Bernstein does it. And listen to the way Bernstein plays that finale compared to any of these schmoes. And they just can't leave repeated notes alone. Cha 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 cha. But no, it's cha 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 cha. It's got to be a crescendo and yuck. Oh, just awful. The Andantes, by the way, are exceptionally cold. And suffer, as do even the allegros, from Fischer's inability to play a phrase, a legato phrase, to knit together Haydn's. He starts to sound like Poulenc. Everything's in 2-bar phrases, because Fischer always has feminine endings or clipped final notes. Notes aren't sustained for their full length, so everything falls apart. There's no sustained line in these performances. It's just you can't believe it. Number 98. Of course, this is one of the biggest of all of the London symphonies. It's a big, juicy, the slow movement is sort of Haydn's Requiem to Mozart. It's based on God Save the King. It's really just wonderful. And the finale, of course, has Haydn's own little intervention on the cembalo. It's marked, of course. So they use a harpsichord. It should not be. It's a forte piano. You should use a forte piano. Haydn presided over these performances at the piano, the forte piano. And so putting a little harpsichord in there is ridiculous. But even more than that, the finale of 98 opens up so quickly that it can only get slower. It has to, because it doubles in tempo or something like that in the coda. So there's nowhere to expand. And the only way to make the coda fast is to slow down it's just bad. Let me just put it to you that way. I would rather go back to my juice box or Mildred or something and have to deal with this. It's just not good. I mean, who's he kidding? And he thinks that the more mustaches he paints on the Mona Lisa, the better she's gonna look. Well, she don't. She doesn't. It's awful. So, okay. Better than the first one, though. For what that's worth, right? I can't deal with this. Oh, but I'm going to do all 4 of them. They're all out, all the London Symphonies. He's done them all, and we're going to cover them. And I just hope he doesn't do more, because he's achieving absolutely nothing of artistic merit. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.